gonna be some painting and drawing. Art club, there's gonna be some painting and drawing. Some of the time we might do drawing and painting, but most of the time we will do painting and drawing.
Grab a pencil, grab a brush, we're about to do Art Club!
Hi, I'm Olaf Falafel, and I'm also Olaf Falafel. But only one of us can present Art Club today.
Choose your character. For the black and white striped Olaf, shout black and white striped Olaf. For the red and white striped Olaf, shout red and white striped Olaf.
Counting votes. Calculating results.
We have a winner!
Yes! Thanks guys, trust me, you've made the right choice. Red and white today. We're going to have a great art club. First, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who sent in cool artwork. I'm going to start playing it up here. We had loads of really good T-Rex in V-necks, some great grapes of mild annoyance. We also had some wonderful comic strips, some unbelievable comic strips. The best way to get them to me, I think, is to send them on my Twitter and use the hashtag OlafArt, because it has the word fart hidden in there. You can still send them to me on my Instagram and my Facebook, and I will try and check those as much as I can. So please do keep sending me your artwork and I'll keep trying to put it up here. Talking of T-Rex in V-neck, do you remember this was my T-Rex in a V-neck? And I said that one of you could win this. The lucky people who have won this signed copy of my T-Rex in a V-neck, their name is going to come up somewhere around here. Congratulations if that's you. Have a look at the description in the video and that will show you what you need to do. So what's been happening with me this week? Well, actually I had quite a funny little accident. I was eating some alphabetti spaghetti and I managed to spill it. I knocked the can over. That's not the funny part. The funny part is the way the letters had arranged themselves. I'll show you what I mean. Well, that was strange, wasn't it? Before we go any further, what I'd love you guys to do is click subscribe on my YouTube channel if you haven't done that already. I know quite a few of you have, but I know there's also a lot of you who haven't, so please click subscribe. We've just gone over 2,000 subscribers, which is really cool, but it'd be great to get up to 3,000. So if you love Art Club, tell your best friends, get your parents to tell their best friends who've got kids, and also tell your teachers and tell your school. Tell them it's really cool and everyone at school should be doing it. That would be great. Right, I think that's enough chat. We need to be getting on with what's happening today. Well, we're doing a bit about Salvador Dali, who's a really great artist. I've done a song, goes a bit like this.
Salvador Dali's mommy army. Hey, normal. Salvador Dali's mommy army. Hey, normal.
That's coming up later, so you'll hear that more. What else are we doing? Oh, we're going to do a two-part drawing. We're going to do that in a second. There's going to be loads of jokes. There's going to be all sorts of cool stuff, so keep watching.
Grab a pencil, grab a brush, we're about to do Art Club!
Right, art clubbers. Art clubbers, I've never called you art clubbers before. My daughters actually, they said that I should call anyone who has subscribed a subscribbler. So if you have subscribed, you're a subscribbler. If you haven't, and you're just watching this, that's cool too, but you're an art clubber. So hit subscribe and you can become a subscribbler. So we're gonna do our two-part drawing now. The first part is now, and the second part is at the end. In the first part, what we're gonna be doing is drawing a creature that is going up into space. You'll find out what creature it is soon. And in the second part, I'll show you how they're getting into space. What we need is a sheet of paper. I've got myself a sheet of A4 paper here and something to draw with. I'm using a brush pen today, but you can use whatever you want, pencil, pen. Now we're going to start off in the center of our paper, or actually just a little bit higher than the center. We're going to do a circle, not too big. This is going to be the window of our spacecraft. It doesn't have to be like super neat, that's not really neat. And then we do another circle on the inside of that one, or the outside. Doesn't really matter. Do mine on the outside. Now this is going to be the window of the spacecraft. Inside we're going to have a line that is horizontal that goes along like this. And this is going to be like the control panel. And in there we can do like lots of little buttons. let's do a big button here. And do a line that comes down, and another line that comes down, and like that. And perhaps we could do a panel, so like a bit of a line there and a line there with more lines that almost make it like a grid of buttons. Now we're going to do our creature. So the first thing we're going to do is another circle, and that's going to be his helmet that goes like this. And underneath that circle, we're going to do another little line like this, and then we'll do the shoulder, and then the shoulder, and then a line there and a line there, and then we'll just do a few little lines like this. And the creature that we're going to have going into space is going to be a worm. You might remember we did some worms last week in a cartoon strip. You're going to start to think that I'm fascinated by worms, but we do this kind of shape here. We'll do one eye there and one eye there, and we'll do a little semicircle mouth like this because we're going to have him saying something. We'll colour in the bottom bit black and the top we can leave as teeth. And then because it's a worm, we'll do some thin lines that go somewhere around like this. And we can do a little front panel on the front of his spacesuit if you like. And if you want to add a bit more detail, you can put some more panels and buttons in the background like this, just to make it look a bit more like he's inside some kind of space rocket. And you could add a few pipes coming in like this. Put some stripes around the pipes just because it rhymes. And do like a button here and a button there. And you can have fun colouring these in later, all different colours. Perhaps there's like a little light coming from the top here that could be flashing red when we colour it in. And that there is your worm about to go into space. Come back at the end and I'll show you how he's being transported into space, and we can add a speech bubble and he can be saying something as well.
Why do monkeys carry their babies on their backs? Because getting a pushchair up a tree is a real pain. And that joke has come from Oliver.
Now, I get quite a lot of you say to me you find it difficult to draw 3D objects, three-dimensional things like cubes and boxes and cylinders. So what I thought we'd do is a quick bit of practice on how to do those. All I've got here is a little sketch pad. It's got lines on it. You don't have to have one with lines. You can use a pencil, you can use a ruler. I'm going to be using a pen just so you can see it a bit better. And I won't use a ruler because it'll just get in the way for me, just because it'll keep getting fiddly. So I am going to use my pen. I'm going to start by drawing a basic square shape. Looks a bit like this. Try and keep it, all the lines quite straight. And once you've drawn that shape, we're going to draw 3 diagonal lines that are all going off 3 of the corners, and we're going to try and keep those lines the same length and at the same angle. So they're a thing called parallel. What parallel means is that if those lines were to continue forever, they would never meet because they're going at the same angle. So that's a new word you've learned today, although you might have already known it. So we'll draw those 3 lines. So 1, 2, 3. And then we join these 3 points up together. So we draw a line that goes from here to here, and another line that goes from here to here. And that is a basic 3D cube shape. Now you don't have to start off with a square. You could do a diamond kind of shape, or like a, I don't know what the proper word is. It's like a square that's kind of tilted a bit. So do one line there, but instead of doing the next line there, do it up a bit. And then join those together. So that's our basic starting shape. And then you can draw 3 more diagonal lines going off the corners. You could make them like that. The same angle and the same length if possible, and then join those 3 up. Doesn't have to be a square, it doesn't have to be a diamond, it could be a circle. So if you do a circle or an oval, so we'll do a circle there, we'll do an oval there. You do 2 lines that come off. Oh. And 2 lines that come off. And then we try and join the ends of those 2 lines with a curve that is similar to the curve at the other end. So For example, this curve here, we try and copy here. And that makes a cylinder. And this curve here, we try and copy here. And that's how you do it. These would be really good if we're making wheels. So for example, if you're making a wheel, you draw an oval, and then you draw one line, another line, and then you copy this curve here. And then you draw another circle, smaller in the middle, and that's kind of a wheel. You can draw other shapes like house shapes. And then you just draw the lines that come off the house. So 1, 2, 3, and join those up. 1, 2. Or you could draw a shape like this. And then draw some lines coming off that. I find the real trick to things like this is to do lots of it and have a practice, but it can get a bit boring. So what I like to do, I find that these 3D shapes really lend themselves well to making robots. So I like to try and combine all of these shapes into making robots. I'll show you what I mean. So there you go. I hope you have lots of fun making 3D shapes and turning them into crazy robots.
Have you heard of the movie Constipated? It hasn't come out yet. And that joke has come from Ella, Brody, Illy and Lachlan.
That was quite funny. Please keep sending in your jokes. I love reading through them all. They really make me laugh. And I'll put the best ones in next week's show. What we're going to do now is learn about an artist in our 1 Minute Artist section. This week, it's a special treat because it's one of my favourite artists. It's Salvador Dali.
1 Minute Artist, Salvador Dali. Salvador Dali was born in 1904 in Spain and is probably the most famous surrealist artist. Surreal means strange, weird or unexpected, and a lot of Dali's paintings combine things that don't usually go together to create images that are often unusual and dreamlike. A lot of Dali's paintings include strange, vast landscapes that look like they could come from another planet. Probably Dali's most famous piece of work is The Persistence of Memory, a painting that features floppy clocks. Dali was expelled from school twice, the first time for his part in a student protest. As well as paintings, Dali also made surreal sculpture, including this lobster on top of a telephone. On average, an original Salvador Dali painting sells for around £6.8 million, which means if you sold 15 Dali paintings, you could afford to buy Cristiano Ronaldo. I know which one I'd rather have. And that is Salvador Dali in a minute.
Well, there you go. That was quite educational, wasn't it? I love Salvador Dali. He's so much fun that I wrote a song about him. It goes something like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take this opportunity to sing you a song inspired by a wonderful artist and all-round crazy guy whose name is Salvador Dali. It goes a little something like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sunshine,
Floppy clock, floppy clock,
elephant,
bringing on leg, floppy clock, floppy clock,
mustache,
floppy clock, floppy clock,
butterfly,
floppy clock, floppy clock.
Salvador Dali's mommy army.
hey, normal,
Salvador Dali's mommy army.
hey, normal, faces,
No, floppy clock, floppy clock,
lobster,
on the telephone, floppy clock, floppy clock,
illusion,
floppy clock, floppy clock,
landscape,
floppy clock, floppy clock.
Salvador Dali's mommy army.
hey, normal, Salvador Dali's mommy army.
We hate normal. I hope you enjoyed that because I will be playing it again at some point during the show. I really like surreal stuff. I do surreal things in my comedy. I also like to include some weird things in some of my children's books. For example, there's this book here, Old MacDonald Heard a Parp. And halfway through the book, there is a little bit where Old MacDonald is asleep and he's having a weird dream. And in this dream, he's dreaming that he's riding on the back of a farting unicorn through space. You can see it's farting music. And there's all sorts of floppy clocks like Salvador Dali does, and you've got all of the planets there. The unicorn is farting music. So that's all quite strange, all quite weird, lots of rainbows and things in there. Also, a lot of my comedy shows are quite weird and quite surreal, and I make these like little leaflets for my comedy shows, and I make them so when you flick through them, they animate. Here, I'll show you. If I go up to this camera, I'll show you. So this show was called The Marmosets of My Mind. And if you look, you can see the marmosets running through my mind. There was another show that I did called There's No I in Idiot. And when you flick through, all of the eyes moved. That was quite weird. And the show that I did last year was called Knitting with Maracas. And when you flick through this, these two guys who look very much like me are playing maracas in my eyebrows, and I have a blue beard that my mum knitted for me. So all quite normal. There you go. So what we're going to do, we're going to make our own Salvador Dali inspired picture. Now for this, what you'll need is a piece of paper, and you'll need some magazines or some things that have pictures in. You can print out your own pictures if you've got a printer at home, or I've got some old boxes and stuff from food, so you can use like recycled bits of cardboard, anything that you can cut out and stick down. I'm also going to be using some paints and some pens. You can do whatever you want. This is going to be something that is really fun and really creative. Just go mad, go crazy. Right, I'm going to start by doing a Salvador Dali kind of landscape. So he likes lots of kind of deserts and almost like they're another planet. So I'm going to start by doing that, and I'm going to use these pencils that you can add water to once you've drawn, and they kind of turn into paint. So let's start with that. So once you're happy with your landscape, now it's time to start doing the collage. You'll need some scissors, and you'll need some things to cut out, and you'll need something to stick it down with. This is going to be different for everybody, so try and make it as fun as possible. And remember, we're doing surreal, so make it really weird. I think I'm going to start. I went through the recycling, and I've got some pizza boxes, and I've got some kind of yogurty drink things. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by cutting out these slices of pizza, and I'm going to turn them into some kind of landscapey mountains or something, I don't know. Here we go. So I think I'll probably arrange those like mountains somehow in perhaps the background of my painting. I tell you what, I'll just get my glue out and just start to stick them down, see how it goes. Really doesn't matter, I'll do this one first. Do one over there. Salvador Dali used to like to include his own face in quite a lot of his pictures, so I think what I'm going to do is take one of those leaflet flyers that I showed you earlier. I think I'll take this one here, and I'll put my own face in my picture. So if I just cut that out, actually, if I trim off the bottom here, I could make it look, if I put a dark bit on the ground there, it looks a bit like a shadow. So it could look like my head is sticking out of the ground. Let's do that now. I just lift that up actually and have some things coming out of my head. So what I'm going to start doing now is cutting out some pictures from some of these old magazines that I've got. And what I also might do is just draw in a few bits. To be honest with you, whatever you want to do is going to be fine. As long as it's weird, as long as it's strange. Remember, the first rule of art club is there are no rules. I'll probably go into a bit of a fast forward here. There you go. I think that's just about done it. What do you think? Looks quite good to me. I call it Wakey Wakey One-Eyed Strawberry. I'd love to see all of your Salvador Dali inspired surreal pictures. Please do get your parents to send them in on my Instagram, Twitter or Facebook, and I'll try and share as many as I can next week.
Salvador Dali's mommy army. We hate normal. Salvador Dali's mommy army. We hate normal. Grab a pencil, grab a brush. We're about to do art club.
Right, the next thing we're going to do is something that is really quick but a lot of fun. All you need is a sheet of paper, some paints, and then a pencil or a pen to draw with after. What we do, first of all, mix up some paint and make it nice and watery. So I've got a green here, and just put a little blob of it down on your paint. And then we're going to blow quite quickly. Get close to it and blow like that. Looks quite good. And then we'll use another colour, perhaps this purple over here. And I'll do a blob here. And we'll blow again. Here we go, you ready? 1, 2, 3. And then perhaps turn it around. And I'll use this browny colour here. Do a little blow of that here. 3, 2, 1. That's quite good. Let's do another. Let's do a bit of red. This reddy colour. Wow, that's quite cool. And we'll do one last one. Let's do a blue. So now we've got a load of different splashy, splodgy shapes. What I'm gonna do is try and turn them into stuff using a pencil. I think, first of all, we'll do that blue one. That looks like, for me, it could be quite a good alien spaceship. Like a flying saucer taking off. And there's a little one-eyed alien inside. This one here, I could turn this into a nostril that has got like green snot coming out of it. So this is someone's nose. What could this one be? This one, oh, it looks like someone's going and being sick. So perhaps we could draw nose, a chin, an eye going like that. Oh, I've smudged that one, not to worry. And some hair, and an ear, carry the hair around, and the neck. I don't know what he's eaten to make a big purple spew like that, but this one, it looks like someone squished a fly. So perhaps I'll just do the body of a fly and perhaps a wing here, and perhaps there could be another wing that's kind of come off the fly here. And perhaps there's a leg there, and perhaps another leg there. What did you draw in art class today? A dead fly. And probably even worse than that, everyone loves the bouncing bum. So I think my old friend, the bouncing bum, draw a little shadow underneath him there. He's just touched down and he's had an accident. So there you go, some really simple, quick, funny splatter drawings.
Achoo! What do you call a unicorn with no horn? Pointless! And that joke has come from Ellen Tristram.
So you may remember from the beginning of the show, we had a worm and he was ready to go into space. He was inside his little window. Now we need to draw the spacecraft that is sending him up into space, and we'll do a little speech bubble so he can be saying something, and perhaps we can draw some other planets and other space things as well. Right, get the drawing in front of you and get your pen. Here's my brush pen that I was using. Now, he's going to be going up into space in a vegetable. I've got a book called It's One Giant Leak for Mankind that involves a leak and space. This isn't going to be a leek, this is going to be another funny vegetable. It's going to be a turnip. Now to draw a turnip, what you need to do, it's almost like a tear, but upside down, and a bit more of a kind of a wider, fatter tear. It goes like this. Go round the other side like this. And where it comes to the bottom, it needs to come into a point, because we're going to have like roots, the roots of the turnip. It kind of almost looks a bit like an alien spaceship already. Now where the roots branch off, do like root shapes, like branches of the roots like this. And perhaps have another coming off here, perhaps another. And at the top of the turnip, we do like a little semicircle. That's where the top of the turnip has been cut off. And then we do some lines like this. Just follow the contour. So follow this kind of semicircle, but grow it out a bit. And these don't have to be neat. These are just like the lines to make you think that it's a turnip. So that's our turnip rocket shooting off into space. You can add a few kind of lines like this to make it look speedy. So, there you go, he's speeding off into space. Now we need to draw some other stuff. Actually, before we draw some other stuff, let's get him saying something. I'm going to use a different pen for the lettering because the brush pen's not great for lettering. I'm going to have him saying, "Laters, mud munchers, I'm off to Neptune." Now all we need to do is decorate our space scene with all kinds of planets and stars and alien spaceships. Do whatever you like, make it as creative as you like. You can put in other speech bubbles, and I would love to see all of your pictures when they're done. So I think I'm going to start off with a planet up here. So it's going to be a planet with a ring around it. So if you know how to do those, it looks a bit like this. So like a bit like Saturn. We could have a little alien spaceship down here. It's like a little flying saucer type. he's looking confused. We could have the earth back in the distance here, little tiny earth. This is where he's come from. We'll put in some earth colours, and perhaps we could do another planet just coming in here. Perhaps this could be coming in there. You know what? I think probably ready to colour this in now. And there you go. Laters, Mud Munchers. I'm off to Neptune, the very first worm in space in a turnip. I'd love to see your pictures, so please do get your mums and dads. Hi guys, I'm just editing this episode at the moment. What editing means is just like cutting it and making it all cool and putting funny music and stuff. So that's what editing means. But I realised I haven't given you a special code phrase so you can win my copy of this picture. So if you do want to win this, what you need to do is click subscribe on my YouTube channel, on that button that says subscribe. And then in the comments to this video underneath, I need you to type in the special code phrase, I'm sending my worm to space in a turnip. I'll pick one lucky winner at random and you'll know who it is next week. Good luck. I'd love to see your pictures, so please do get your mums and dads to send them in and make sure they use the hashtag OlafArt. Well, unfortunately, that is it for another art club. But don't worry, there will be another one coming along next Monday, so make sure you tune in for that. Please, if you haven't, make sure you click subscribe. It really does help. And also tell people. If everybody who was watching today tells at least 2 other people, then don't make me do the maths again, I can't remember. But it's good, trust me, it's good. So just please tell everyone and tell your teachers and tell your best friends and get your mums and dads to tell their best friends. Right. That's it. Send in your artwork, make sure you send in your jokes, and make sure you tune in again next Monday for another art club. Now, do you remember last week there was someone called Rosie who wrote in and said that they thought it would be funny that if instead of flowers thrown at me, it was sausages? Yeah, that was really funny. So today, Rosie, I hope you're watching because you're getting those sausages back. So, bye!